From Cinderella to Mickey Mouse, Disney has given us so many iconic characters that we've lost count, and we're eternally grateful for them. Not only did these characters shape our childhoods, but they also taught us so many lessons about love, loyalty, and pretty much everything else. But did you ever realize that some of these were often not very smart? Well, in today's video, we're talking about some fan favorites that were just dumb. First up, let's talk about Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Honestly, this one should be pretty self-explanatory. Ariel gave up her whole life for a man. Come on, that's not original or even a good message for young girls watching it. Ariel falls for Prince Eric the first time they ever meet, and then makes it her life's mission to be with him. Oh, and before you forget, Eric was human and Ariel was a literal mermaid. How is this ever supposed to work? Why isn't Ariel the smartest fish in the sea? Well, not only does she just throw away her magnificent life underwater, but she also goes to the known sea witch for help. What did she think was gonna happen? As expected, her decision has grave consequences. It leaves her without her precious voice for a while, it leaves her father extremely distressed, and it gives Ursula power over the entire sea before everybody else has to fix up her mess for her. And yeah, she ends up with the person she loves, but only at the cost of forever changing from mermaid to human, and being human isn't all that great. So was it worth it? We highly doubt it. Next up, Snow White from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Okay, God, where do we start? If you take away anything from this story, let it be this. You don't have to trust everybody. First off, she wanders into a strange house in the forest and eats the food inside, drinks their wine, and sleeps in one of the beds. After trying all of them, by the way. Would a person who wasn't really dumb do that? Next, she repeatedly falls for her evil stepmother's attempts to literally kill her. Now, if a strange woman shows up at your doorstep not once, not twice, but 3 times trying to sell you things and force you to try them, well, maybe take a hint. But no, not our Snow White. She fell for it every single time until she actually died. And now it gets even worse. How does she come back to life? Through the kiss of someone that she's never met. We shouldn't have to tell you how wrong that is on every possible level. But did our dear Snow White realize that? Of course not. She wakes up and the two fall in love and they live happily ever after. Great. We have to say, her dumbness really knew no bounds. Up next, Anna from Frozen. Alright, we're sensing a pattern here. Why were most of our Disney princesses so dumb? And while this one feels a bit blasphemous, please hear us out. Anna was not really the hero everyone seems to think she was. And there's only one reason for that. She was just incredibly stupid. Now, everybody who's watched Frozen seems to overlook the fact that Anna was a serious liability for everybody around her. While Elsa was the true hero who never got any credit, allow us to explain further. Anna would literally never leave her sister alone. She knew that Elsa had powers that could hurt people, but she'd always pressure her to play. And surprise, surprise, it ended badly. Do you want to build a snowman? Maybe don't for once. After their parents die, Elsa is about to become queen, and it's all going well. Until, of course, Anna comes in with all her idiocy and ruins everything. Now, the antagonist of the movie wanted to sneak in and take over the kingdom, and for that, he wanted to make Elsa fall in love with him. But then he spoke to Anna once and realized that she was the idiot who would believe whatever he told her. He sang one song with her, and she was convinced he was the love of her life. Yikes. And because she was so dumb and selfish, she tells Elsa on her big day that she's marrying a complete stranger. When her sister very rightfully tells her that that's not a good idea, Anna acts out. Once again, because of Anna, Elsa ends up losing control of her powers, causes considerable damage to their kingdom, and has to eventually go into hiding. And yeah, it ends well. It was a Disney film after all, and she seemingly learns her lesson, but if you ask us, there's really no cure for just plain stupidity. Moving on, let's talk about Simba from The Lion King. Before people come for our throats, let us just clarify that we do believe The Lion King is the best Disney film of all time, there are just so many things to love about it. That being said, Simba was just so dumb in his story. And yes, it was literally his movie. He made it what it is, blah blah, but he did so on the back of some amazing characters who guided him every step of the way. Now, we know this is a touchy subject, but we can all agree that Simba got Mufasa killed, right? Mufasa couldn't have been a better father if he tried. He was really the blueprint, and he told Simba that he shouldn't go looking for trouble after he rescues him from the elephant graveyard. Did Simba listen? Of course he didn't. Once again, he proves that he's really dumb when he trusts his very shady uncle. Consequently, he reveals his father's only weakness, his need to protect his son. And guess what happens? Scar uses that to get rid of his brother. Rest in peace, Mufasa. You didn't deserve that. Also, Simba literally runs away after his father dies. Not that he'd ever take responsibility and lets everybody, including Nala, believe that he was dead. And while we're on the topic of the Lion King, let's talk about Scar. Let's be honest, Scar had everything. His brother was literally the ruler of the kingdom, and he could pretty much live his life any way he wanted to, but guess what he did? He ruined all of that. And why did he ruin all of that? Because he was jealous. Come on, Scar turns on his own brother and literally just lets him fall to his death. After that, he scares his nephew to the point where he runs away from the kingdom. Then he sides with the enemies, the hyenas, runs his kingdom into the ground, and betrays them too. He literally made one mistake after another. Of course, he ends up as food for the hyenas, and it's his own fault. What an idiot. Next up, Prince Charming from Cinderella. We're all big fans of fairy tales here. Two people falling in love against all odds. It's beautiful. But when one of those people is the fan favorite Prince Charming, well, we feel differently. Cinderella and the prince meet at a dance, and they have a wonderful time, but then she rushes away for reasons unknown to our hero. So what does he do? Well, he scours the entire kingdom for her. Does that sound like something a rational person would do? Think about it. He meets her for a couple of hours at his parents' house and decides to create chaos in his entire kingdom because he believes she was the one. He was entitled, ridiculous, and a brat. Also, it's so creepy to use a shoe to find somebody. Did he not think that she would find him if she felt the same way? Did nobody stop him? Why didn't he believe that they'd meet each other again if it was really meant to be? Was that really the best way to go about it? We've got so many questions. The biggest of all, what was he thinking if he was thinking at all? And finally, we have the Sultan from Aladdin. The Sultan from Aladdin has to be one of the dumbest characters in Disney history. You have to be a special kind of idiot to trust Jafar, who literally looks evil. Come on, where's the self-awareness? How'd he manage to keep hold of all his power and wealth if he so easily trusted Jafar to become his most loyal advisor? Let's take a closer look at our antagonist, shall we? He was in his 50s, he looked old and scary, and how did the Sultan react to him? Well, he agreed to marry off his young daughter to him. Who in their right mind is letting that happen? And yes, people say that the Sultan was hypnotized and was being controlled by the creep, but he had all the money in the world to get help and also find somebody to look after his daughter. Did he do any of that? Obviously not. Maybe he was too trusting, nice and honest, and he assumed everybody else was too. But hey, that's how people take advantage of you, and that's exactly what Jafar tried to do with the Sultan. And honestly, all the red flags were there. He was just too dumb to see them. That's a wrap for this video. How do you guys feel about our list? Did we forget somebody you think is really dumb? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.